with the census office, and there have been many complaints, and also I noticed that also the President of Parliament has asked questions about the functioning of the census office, where it pertains to the making of appointments, et cetera, and along lines. And I met with the management and the General Secretary to discuss the situation and see exactly what is happening. And we need to take the time out, one, and realize, first of all, we just had a hurricane. And we had some physical infrastructure damage. And the physical infrastructure that was damaged was, for instance, the old office of the census office, the old building, the public center location in Simpson Bay is damaged and no longer in use. And the solution was to be in this building, which provided limited space. Just taking that alone into consideration, it would you would conclude that there would have been some inconvenience caused to the public in that regard. To give you an example, in the old building, the census office had 7 windows as front office. In this building, we have 5. There were 6 back office location, and in this building we have 3. It is also, and put to that the location, the Simpson Bay Public Service, was closed, and you already have a backlog. Right after the hurricane, and it must be said that the civil servants of the census office were among the first on the job, doing what they had to do, for which I thank them. In that begin period, they were assisting about 150 persons per day. It was a hurricane. People lost their documents, passports, ID cards. It was busy. There are only 30 seats available within the building. I know if you're on the other side, what I'm saying now is of no solace to you, and the reaction will be, that's your problem. I'm the one who's suffering. And that I acknowledge and that I apologize for. What I'm trying to do is to show that it is no malice or lack of attention from the side of government in remedying the inconvenience that it caused to the public. However, what should also be said is that not all of when the census office went over to the appointment system, not everything needed an appointment, in the sense that folks who needed emergency passports, and as you know, the passports are dealt with by the governor's office in the end. So if the census office was informed that there's a situation where emergency passport was needed, immediately that was acted upon. I remember when people were moving off the island immediately after the hurricane, especially with kids and things like that, certain documents were needed. They were assisted. The folks who come to the Social and Labor Affairs Department, their documents at the Census Department is regulated via the Social and Labor Affairs Department. Okay, so what are the major complaints? The major complaint was that to make an appointment, you have a dedicated or you have a phone number that you have to call, and when you call that number, or it is not answered or it takes very long to answer. In checking that out, we indeed notice a flaw that will be immediately corrected, in the sense that the way the building was set up with the phone numbers, at a certain moment, the number that was supposed to be then reserved. All calls, let's say, come in via one number. So the census office was also getting calls that was meant for other departments because the number that was given, it was used by everyone for calls. So basically the census office became the receptionist for the rest of the building to a great extent. And that is a flaw on our side that immediately will be corrected. I briefly contacted the CEO of TALEM, and within days we are looking at the possibility to put in a dedicated number, toll-free number, to make appointments. So having a dedicated number to which the public would not have to pay because you're just calling to make an appointment. And it would have dedicated staff to deal with that number. That would take away the problem of not having a phone answered and getting an appointment. The second thing is, when I make an appointment, if I do get through and I make an appointment, it takes months for me to get that appointment. I checked the appointment list, and with all of the appointments that were there, and for instance, for registration forms, that is the quickest turnover and that folks need more frequently, and so that the latest appointment right now booked is the 7th of February, which is a month. In some instances, a month could be too long because registration forms, and we have to realize the type of documents that we are talking about. A registration form is something that whether a third party asks for it, you could apply for a job and the employer said, bring me a registration form. Or it is not known exactly who is going to ask for a registration form and when they are going to ask for the registration form. So sometimes the public can be faced with a situation that they may need something like that on short notice. In that discussion, the law does not stipulate any expiration date of a registration form. Therefore, what I would like to do is to call on those instances that require a registration form for whatever activity, who asks the public to bring a registration form, if we take a validity of 6 months into consideration. So if the person has a registration form that is still valid within a 6 months period, and that is accepted, then you take a lot of burden for that person to every minute have to go to ask for a registration form, and you take a lot of the thing off. But that would be also published. Passports and ID cards. With the exception of a situation where it is lost. Everyone knows when their passport is going to expire and when their ID card is going to expire. And I know I'm walking on thin ice with saying this, but we too have a responsibility. We should not wait a day or 2 days before our documents expire to request them to be renewed. However, from the side of the Census Office, what we have done was also asked to make known publicly how long the process would take in the present situation, because this is a temporary situation, which as of next week already could be helped, because the planning is that the Public Service Center would reopen. And that would be within a week or two, hopefully, that they will be reopened, and this would take some of that pressure off and facilitate that activity.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah, right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
Here, as I go further down into the points for this press briefing, how important it is that we get out of the situation that we're in right now. What is the situation? You have a caretaker government. You have a parliament that does not support the caretaker government. At the same time, the parliament has no instrument to hold the government to any specific actions or prevent any actions from being taken by the government. So it's a very frustrating, awkward, and even frustrating situation that we need to get out as soon as possible. I then want to address the topic, and this is more on the political side, of the United Democrats. This unification, if you want to call it that, was well thought out. And while there were several issues that needed to be ironed out, the timing right now made us put many of those issues aside to focus on a common vision and plan for specifically the rebuilding of St. Martin. That's the objective, the main objective behind it. And if you look at it, the plan for rebuilding St. Martin, which regretfully is not here yet, will come from this body, will come from the current majority in Parliament through their government. That plan will come. That plan needs to be supported. So from this perspective, coming together also to contest the election was, in our opinion, a no-brainer. We said A when we took a stance, and now we have to say B. We have to carry it through. We have to make sure that the things that basically caused the breakup of the government, that we can continue to work on them, that we can hopefully start to receive the funds within short and embark on the reconstruction of St. Martin in the broadest sense of the word. And then that, of course, could rightfully bring the question about election. Have we not, as a parliament, on more than one occasion, by means of motion, expressed our objection against election, the way it was called by the government, making use of Article 59. In perusing the motions of Parliament, and I can share those motions with you, in perusing the motions of Parliament, I have come up to at least 4 motions in which the Parliament of St. Martin, in different forms and fashions, actually condemned the election and condemned the action by government to dissolve Parliament and schedule new elections. But there is a more serious part with respect to the election that has been scheduled for February the 26th. And that is what I consider to be a violation of the Constitution in the decree, so the amended decree that basically schedules the election. What is that violation, you may ask? By now, it is common knowledge that the government of St. Martin has used, which they can, Article 59 to dissolve the parliament. They can do that, it is in our constitution, and they did. However, that same article states that when the government dissolves parliament, the government has to call elections. Not just call election, the government has to call election in such a manner that within 3 months you have election and the new parliament will sit within 3 months. Now you might ask yourself, what is the importance of putting a period for when you should have a new parliament sit? What the legislators who drafted our constitution sought to regulate is the fact that it should never be possible that a government can dissolve a parliament and they will decide when the new parliament will sit. That can never be the case. So they attached a period of 3 months. And the same Article 59 says, if the government, when the government dissolves parliament by a national decree of the government, then they must arrange an election, and the new parliament must sit within a period of 3 months. You would recall that the government had, on the 2nd of November, the 3rd to be exact, the government had issued a decree for elections. At that time, the election was scheduled to be held in January, I think January the 8th. And there were so many errors and flaws in that decree. At the very last moment, on the 12th of November, mind you, postulation back then would have been on the 13th, but on the 12th of November, the government amended that election decree of the 3rd of November. And in that decree, they established new dates. However, by establishing the new dates and putting the new sitting of the parliament for the 2nd of April 2018, they have exceeded the time that is given in our constitution of 3 months.
You have the meeting with the board. I don't know who would want to answer this question. What would happen from here now? You had your meeting, you haven't got your meeting yet with the government. What is next?
Well, the fact that we got the management of St. Martin Medical Center to start the dialogue with us, we expect now that also the minister will have and continue the dialogue, even though he's a caretaker minister. But we have to continue to address the issue with the ones responsible for the totality. And so as a consumers coalition, to defend the rights of the consumers in St. Martin, we are keen on how we can protect them of getting price hikes or of getting premium hikes, right? Because of ways of thinking that is only thinking of we that have a little income have to pay the burden for all. And so we think that really by addressing these issues, also with government, Ministry of VSI, with the inspectorate in terms of the quality of the healthcare that is being provided on all the different levels, that we as consumers can be more satisfied. That is our follow-up. We will continue to ask for those meetings so that we can inform the public and that we can actually confirm also with our consumers that we are progressing in the defense of our consumer rights.
We just attended this meeting with the hospital management as the consumer group in St. Martin, and we hope then to share and exchange information with them so that they can also understand that there's other ways to do things different than how we've been doing it in the past. Now we can learn how to do things on a sustainable manner and with all different parties involved, that they can then discuss and look for the best way forward for St. Martin, and not the way we used to do it before, somebody make the decision and everybody else pay. We want to do it the right way now and get things under a new, what we could say, platform that is more sustainable and better for all the consumers in the
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
1,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2,
3,
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
From the Youth Department, I would like to update as to some ongoing programs. As Minister, I am pleased to announce that the representative of UNICEF Netherlands, Ms. Latoya Charles, will arrive back on island today as a follow-up to their recovery support in education and child protection to the children of St. Martin post-Hurricane Irma. Ms. Charles was here with the initial group from UNICEF Netherlands and assisted the ministry directly with the Department of Youth in identifying areas where UNICEF NL would be able to assist. The first program response as a result of that consultation right after Hurricane Irma is the working visit of a child protection specialist as well as an education specialist for the next 6 months. So these 2 specialists have been made available to St. Martin to assist with child protection as well as education, especially post-Irma and seeing some of the trauma that some of our students may have gone through.
The government entities guiding in this process are the Division Student Support Services within the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, the Department of Youth, as well as the Court of Guardianship, which falls under the Ministry of Justice. They are expected to collaborate with key stakeholders in this process, which is only a continuation to the good working relationship they have been enjoying over the past years in working on the Child Protection Protocol, as well as the Halt on Abuse towards children in particular. Another program response is the hosting of the first annual UNICEF Children's Film Festival with a concentration on children's rights, in which St. Martin will be represented. The activity is coordinated by the Department of Youth of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport. The UNICEF Children's Rights Film Festival is the biggest children's film festival in the Netherlands, where children learn about children's rights in a playful manner. It is important that children know their rights and responsibilities. In this way, they can stand up for themselves and their peers. The Children's Rights Festival provides a good connection between children's rights education and visualizing children's rights. So it's easy for us to read what the rights are, but in this way, children will be able to take part in and learn visually also what these rights mean for them. It is also good for the community to know what it means and to not think for 1 minute that because children have rights, that means that adults and parents, teachers, and the like who have to deal with them don't. I think many people get concerned when they hear about the promotion of children's rights. And these types of rights and getting to know them are usually brought forward because there has been a lack of, or children have been put down, or children are being abused, etc., or deprived of rights such as nationality and the like. So the program will focus on children between the ages of 9 and 13 years old attending the community schools and after-school program safety nets around the island. The winning film, chosen by appointed judges, will be shown during the finals scheduled to take place from April 13th to 16th on the island of Curacao. So locally, our children will be preparing a film, which will then be entered. The winner from the St. Martin will then be entered into the competition, which will be in Curacao. All Dutch Caribbean islands are expected to be represented in this Children's Film Festival. The finals are part of the International Film Festival, Rotterdam, and during these finals, the films of the 3 winners will be shown and a final winner will be chosen. So we are encouraging our community. We know we have many, many talented youth, and as such, while using now our after-school programs, which we are increasing also based on our budget changes for 2017-18, that we know that more children need the safety net of having an after-school program to go to after school. More children will then have the opportunity, of course, to take part in this and many other such programs. And we thank UNICEF for the 2 options or responses they have made so far in assisting us in the recovery process. The Division Study Financing deadline for 2018-2019 study financing application period is rapidly approaching. The 15th is on Monday, upcoming. And so the division has been extremely busy over the past week, especially since the reopening of the year, in getting all applicants to come in. The division is kindly but urgently requesting that all applicants schedule an appointment and submit the documents before or by January 15th, which is Monday. On January 15th, no appointments will be taken and walk-ins will be welcomed. But for the rest of this week, appointments are still being made, so you are asked to contact the Division Study Financing on their temporary phone number, 527-3840. I will repeat, 527-3840, or you can book an appointment via email at info@studyfinancing.sx. info@studyfinancing.sx. Of course, all of the applicants know this already because they have been in contact with the division before, and all of this information is also on the Study Financing website, which you can access via its app. So please, those of you who are in the process, make sure you continue to stay in constant contact with the division in order to have your documents processed.